My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Let's continue. It's 38 minutes now. Trafficking. All right. This is John Eisenman. He lost his daughter to, SEX trafficking. She was sold for $1,000 in Seattle, Washington. He did what a father should do and research, investigate, and found out about her abduction. He rescued her himself. He found out the person who sold her into trafficking was a 19-year-old boyfriend. He met up with him, abducted him. There's the word here. There's the word here again. There's DEATH on November 2020. Is that correct? I mean, no evidence supports claim. Okay, so Gork is saying may not be true. So I don't know. There's all of that. All right, next one. Whew. All right, let's pause this. He says, I'm a young Moroccan Jewish German citizen. We were invited to a meeting with the Israeli ambassador to Austria, and during it, he declared the killing of children and that if Europe itself dared to help Gaza, he will destroy Europe. I recorded his word. So when the content leaked, the Austrian police were flipped out and hasn't settled down, and all their concern is finding my phone, not what the ambassador said. Listen, it's 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Are there any more? Okay. There's some stuff I cannot share. Some images, I'm sorry. So this will be the only one, and this tweet I will share. Come on.
Remember this video?
There should be a death sentence to be killed off in war if you hold a gun. Even if you are a 16-year-old and under UN, whatever it is called, a child.
Our house got raided because of it. Here's to offer you a bit of a backstory. I'm German and Moroccan Jewish. In March, I was invited to a meeting with the Israeli ambassador to Austria, David Rudd. We met in the Jewish Community Center where the press took pictures and he sat down with about 20 people. He started talking about diplomacy, hostages, and the usual Zionist visions. Without anyone asking, he said, if Europe were crazy enough to invest again in Gaza, we would have to destroy it the next time. Everyone listened attentively as a man of influence spoke. When he suggested the death penalty for children involved in the war, I tried to stay calm. No one was reacting, and I had to see what else he'd say. The video of his statements went completely viral. Weirdly enough, not a single media outlet in Austria or Germany reported on it. Journalists later reported that while the video made rounds, no one dared to. 1 month later, anti-terror units showed up at our doorstep. I wasn't home, so they let themselves in and stole anything that contained data, including an old phone, PC, hard drive, and notebooks. They called me on my phone, ordering me to the police station if I wanted to see my things again. I went there with a lawyer and collected a receipt of their theft. The sentence for publishing video material of another person is up to 1 year in jail. There's no doubt that the video disturbed some Zionists in high places. They needed the video to disappear and consequences to be taken. What's shocking is the complicity with which countries in Europe obey and execute on their orders. Instead of investigating a high-ranking official making genocidal claims within your country, the Austrian state decided to go after the people ringing the alarm bells. Once again, Austria is standing on the wrong side of history. It's a sign of fascism coming closer and closer. While right-wing groups spew hatred against Muslims and Jews, the state fabricates terrorists on the left. It's clear that the capitalist elite in charge of media, empires, and war machines has no interest in siding with the people. as it would mean giving away their power. The show must go on, whatever the price. But as Woody Guthrie said, all these fascists bound to lose, they're bound to lose. Let's just make sure we're there for each other when they crash the wall.
This is why I said they're sending America first, but technically all Europe is part of it. All of them. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, a lot of information. All right, so there's this here. 2 Israelis attacked in San Jose while America funds Israel's wars. The blowback is now hitting home. All right, 22 seconds. Okay, in San Jose, 2 Israelis are reported attack after the assailant heard them speaking Hebrew. Alright. Oh, so there's another section of it. I have to somewhat what do you call this? Blur it. So that's another angle of it. I won't be able to show it properly. So this is them, or they're talking about it. Let's go to the next one. New York City. All right, let's see here. There's that. Let's pause this. An attempt was made to drop a bomb on the house of New York Mayor Mamdani. Everyone started saying it's a Muslim bomber, but when the bomb thrower turned out to be Jewish, the media completely buried the matter afterward. 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Yeah, 2 Jewish men threw explosive devices yesterday at Mayor Mamdani's house. Luckily enough, they didn't go off, but someone tried to bomb the mayor of New York yesterday. And they're Jews. He's a Muslim, so naturally, it's not really news. But if it were a Jewish mayor and 2 Muslims throwing a bomb at him, every news station from here to Kepler B15 would be fucking broadcasting this shit. Aliens would be sitting down having their morning worm. They're just like, oh man, the humans are going at it. But being that it's the opposite, ain't nobody talking. But yeah, someone tried to bomb the mayor yesterday. 2 Jewish guys.
All right, next tweet. All right, I want to focus on my list only. 549. Next one was this. Breaking. An Indian citizen has been arrested in Tehran on suspicion of espionage. According to report, he was providing sensitive information to the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad. All right, 13 seconds.
برو جلو مکم نگش دار. Let me go. I didn't do anything. چی شده؟ Leave me. کن زود باش. I didn't do anything. دستشو صفات بگیر. داداش تو ماشین. برو داخل. برو جلو مکم نگش دار.
So that's that. Any more? The Indians are gonna learn the hard way. Next one. I have 4 more left. Let's pause this. I think this guy has a YouTube channel. Breaking. Investigator in New Mexico have begun searching Jeffrey Epstein ranch. 2 minutes 44 seconds screenshot.
When people talk about Jeffrey Epstein, they inevitably talk about his infamous island. We know he had the island. We also know that he had a home in Palm Beach. We know that he had a home in New York City. Last week, I told you about this space, though. a space I'd never heard of before, Zorro Ranch in New Mexico, which was also owned by Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, multiple victims of Mr. Epstein have said they were abused and trafficked at the property that he named Zorro Ranch, yet New Mexico officials and recently unsealed documents indicate that federal authorities may have overlooked the 30,000 square foot mansion and its sea of surrounding grassland after they took over the state-level inquiry into his actions in 2019. Federal authorities took over this investigation in 2019 and then did nothing. I'm confused. Who was president in 2019? Oh, yeah, that's right. This guy was. Weird that they never investigated it. But now, with all the attention that the Epstein files have received, that's changing because New Mexico investigators have decided to search this property for the first time ever. When Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and convicted, this space was not searched. When Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested and convicted, this space was not searched, and they are planning to search it now. This space was unique. It offered something that half of his properties did not, right? His home in Palm Beach, surrounded by people. There's only so much he could get away with. His house in New York, surrounded by people. Only so much he could get away with. And yet he did horrific things there. His island offered him all kinds of seclusion where he could do all kinds of horrific things. And so did this place. Tons and tons of desolate nothing. He could have hunted people for sport there and no one would have heard it. And victims claim that people were killed here and were buried on this property. Wow. The guy gets arrested, doors get locked, he dies in prison. You'd assume, this is like a time capsule. It's going to have all kinds of stuff, only there's a problem. The authorities have worried that the passage of time may have complicated their efforts. The property has changed hands since Mr. Epstein's death, and evidence may have been lost in the transfer. The ranch's new owner, a Dallas real estate magnate named Don Huffins, has said he will comply with the state investigation. So if he's done anything to the property other than just buy it and let it sit there, which odds are that's not what happened, who knows what has been lost? He could have had a crew come in and literally just fill dumpsters with what almost certainly would have been piles and piles of damning evidence. 2019, federal authorities take over the investigation and do nothing. The way that the victims of that monster have been failed time and time and time again should disgust and enrage you.
Unbelievable. All right, so there's all of that. Let's go to the
when
next
people talk about Jeffrey Epstein,
next
they
one.
inevitably...
To be more. So many things going on. All right, listen to James Comer admit that Trump's federal government asked New Mexico to stop their investigation into the Epstein ranch. 57 seconds.
Always going to have questions about whether or not there were deaths there, whether or not there were mysterious surgeries and things like that happening on the ranch. I don't know, but I do know this. The federal government asked New Mexico to stop their investigation, I believe back in 2019 of that ranch. So there's just so many questions about how the government failed the victims and how government failed in trying to prosecute Epstein sooner. I mean, this whole thing doesn't make sense. Everyone has conspiracy theories on, how Epstein was able to get away with it. Was it because he had, powerful friends? Yeah. Was it because he was an agent? No, we don't know, but we're going to find out, and I'm glad that they're on the ground now in New Mexico searching that property.
Congressman, you said in 2019 the government told New Mexico authorities to stand down investigating the ranch. Do you know what branch of the government?
It was the Department of Justice, I believe. Always going to have questions about
federal. There's all of that. Okay, next tweet. I didn't go in the comments. I don't know what images I'm going to see. Next one. Let's pause. This is exactly a minute. Karoline Leavitt has finally admitted that the number of military that have lost their lives in Iran is more than the range of 150 and not 8, like they've been telling us. I mean, I've reported some stuff.
So, in my opinion, hell hath frozen over, because what in the fuck do you mean? KK Karoline Leavitt is admitting that the number they have been saying about the injured and possibly unalived isn't exactly the number that's being reported to us here in America? Excuse me? Watch this.
Reuters has reported that about 150 U.S. Service members have been injured so far. Can you confirm that number and elaborate on that?
I can't confirm the exact number. I know it's within that ballpark, but I would defer you to the Pentagon for a specific number of wounded or injured thus far.
And I fucking knew they were lying about the numbers. There is probably so many of our servicemen and women who are injured because of this fucking mango musa fucking lee.
Well, in December, a lot of people from Germany, well, not from Germany, on social media were saying things were piling up. It's really bad. It was really bad. All right. But the Trump was saying like 3 or 4. Nah. What I was seeing online was like probably in 1,000 maybe. Okay, the lies have become so effing outrageous. There's not an honest person of integrity in this entire regime. It's just a clown car, a billionaire cunt enriching themselves without a care in the world of how many working class Americans they harm. All right, let's listen. I mean, I saw it from the beginning. One of the things that I said from the beginning of the thing, when they started taking immigrants, is that so many of them has risked their lives. They've messed up so many generations. They don't care. They don't care. Let's listen.
68-year-old Steve Witkoff is a real estate developer in real life who would not have been chosen by any president of the United States to do anything, anywhere, until Donald Trump decided to send him into negotiations, not just in the Middle East, but also in Moscow with Vladimir Putin. Steve Witkoff obviously knew nothing about the Middle East or Vladimir Putin when Donald Trump chose him. And now that he's met Vladimir Putin, he still knows nothing about Vladimir Putin, as he demonstrated so embarrassingly today when Carl Quintanilla at CNBC asked him why Donald Trump decided to allow Vladimir Putin to take full advantage of the explosive increase in the price of oil and profit off of that new price, a new price created by Donald Trump's war.
Do we think that the Russians have shared intelligence about the location of U.S. military assets? And if they have, why would we be giving waivers on Russian oil sanctions?
Well, I'm not an intel officer, so I can't tell you. I can tell you that yesterday on the call with the president, the Russians said that they have not been sharing. That's what they said. So, we can take them at their word, but they did say that.
Oh, my God.
We can take them at their word.
They got what they want from us. They're done with us.
Donald Trump's clown of the day, Steve Witkoff, says we can take Vladimir Putin's word for it that Russia has not been helping Iran target attacks on American military personnel. That is the single worst thing Vladimir Putin could possibly be doing to the United States in this war. And Vladimir Putin knows it. And Vladimir Putin also knows that Donald Trump has always behaved like Vladimir Putin's trained puppy around the Russian dictator. Vladimir Putin knows that he has lied to Donald Trump to his face, and Donald Trump has then gone out to a microphone to tell the world, I believe Vladimir Putin. After credible reporting by MS Now, the New York Times, and the Washington Post, that Vladimir Putin was helping Iran target the American military, which led to the deaths of 7 American soldiers and injuring 140 American soldiers. All Vladimir Putin had to do was tell Donald Trump on the phone yesterday that he didn't do it. Donald Trump might not actually be so stupid as to actually believe Vladimir Putin, but it doesn't matter because Donald Trump is deeply perverse enough to publicly claim to believe Vladimir Putin. And so is Steve Witkoff.
Oh, that was it. It's done. All right, let's go. This is my last one. Unbelievable. A bunch of clowns. My last one. And then I wake up my kids. All right, so there's this here. Oh, I took my glasses off. All right. So far, Sheryl Underwood is an example that not all black Republicans are down with MAGA. She's a Republican? All right. Let's listen.
Well, here's my problem with this. States run voting.
Yes.
Correct. We, the Republican Party, always keep hollering states' rights.
That's right.
The problem I have with this, every investigation I've seen, where the Secretary of State was a Republican, there's no voter fraud.
There's no voter fraud.
Am I on
You're
this?
absolutely correct.
Am I going down the right direction?
Remember in Georgia when he called the state person and said, "Can you find me 11,779 votes?"
That's right.
You remember that? Remember in Arizona, same thing. And those were two districts that were it was investigated, and he lost.
Well,
But, you know,
and
people-
in the times that he won, and there were still Republican Secretary of State
Yes.
that verified that he won. Either it
Correct.
works when it works or it doesn't work. But here's my other problem with it. States also decide identity.
Yes.
So you're going to disenfranchise the American voter. But my bigger problem with this, it ain't about an ID. If we can elect a 34 count convicted felon, then we can take felon off of every application and get rights back to the true political prisoners of the United States government so that they will be able to vote. If you've served your time, you should be able to vote. And the president is doing this because he knows that the country is ready to take their rightful place in the midterms. And this is not going to go the way he thinks, so he wants to start this stuff now so that he can mess up the midterms and possibly call martial law.
Correct.
Well, am I close? Because I did go to the meeting and I'll be in the closet going, okay.
All right, yes, I know not every black Republican and conservatives are not down with MAGA. Democrats are the only party that have historically fought for black and brown community for the last 60 years. Okay, so that is it. Please
Well,
take
here's
a
my problem with this.
Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that is it. Thanks for watching. This video will have 2 parts because it's like an hour.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.